Well, hello, folks. I do hope you're well. I really do. Right, what's happening in the world of showbiz today? Well, it's not so much what's happening. It's more my take and my thoughts on what I've seen today. I've seen a couple of people on the old breakfast sofas this morning, and they struck me for different reasons. I've seen Amanda Barry on there. Amanda Barry, ex of Coronation St and obviously Carry On films. I think she played, was it Alma Sedgwick in Corrie? Yes, of course it was. 90. Just turned 90 last month. 90. She looked bloody good for 90. Really good for 90. Full control of her faculties. Look very, very healthy. I don't know if when you get to 90 you need a bigger zip. Maybe it's hard to zip things up and down. I don't know. If you've seen the VT this morning, you'll know what I'm on about. That was a zip and a half, that was. But no, she looked very well. Sounded very chipper. She was saying that she's brought a second autobiography out. The first one was 25 years ago. And times have changed. And she said, well, I brought it out. I co-wrote it with my partner. With my partner now. I think it might be a wife, as turns out. She said, oh, she said, I think Amanda's been that way inclined for many a year. You know, I think she bats probably for both sides. I think. I'm not so sure. She said, but it's nothing she could have mentioned to the Coronation producers all those years ago. She said, because if they'd have found I was that way inclined, I think they'd have had me offset. They wouldn't have had anything to do with me. There'd have been other actors saying, oh, she's, she likes ladies. I don't think I want to be associated with her. She said, how times have changed. You look at Coronation St now, and there's a gay in every single household. Or a lesbian, or whatever it may be. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong at all. Times have changed. There's no doubt about that. Who else was there today? Yes, Tony. Did you see him this morning? Talk about looking well. Tony Christie. It's 4 years now since he's told us he was suffering with dementia. He says he's really not got any worse in the last 4 years. But he thinks because he keeps working, and because his work is down to music, and they say music is great for dementia, he thinks he's doing well. He's just teamed up with Tony Hadley. They're singing together The Avenues and Alleyways. One of Tony's great hits from all those years ago. Tony Hadley loves it. He's doing an LP with swing stuff and all that kind of stuff, and wanted to do a duet with Tony Christie. So he invited him along, and there was a bit of footage there in the studio singing it together. Sounded very, very good. Very good. They sounded great together. The only downside, I would say, is if you're a fan of Tony Hadley, you might not be as impressed as if you were a fan of Tony Christie, because you can hear Tony Christie clear as a bell. You can't hear Tony Pig and Hadley. Christie's got a massive voice on him. Unbelievable. Tell you what, Tony Christie's voice hasn't waned at all. It really hasn't. Doing very well he is. Sounding just like he did 30, 40 years ago. Very, very lucky fella. Jennifer Aniston. I'm seeing Jennifer Aniston today. He's saying, no, I was telling folk only recently I've tried to have a baby for 20 odd years and nobody's known the journey I've been on. I've just not been able to. And they've said, well, why didn't you adopt? I said, well, I just didn't want to adopt. I wanted my own DNA. And I thought, I'm not so sure I agree with that, although everyone to their own. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she's selfish, but there's loads and loads of kiddies out there that would love a mother or a mother and father. And if somebody wants a kiddie so badly, and Jennifer says that she did, I can't understand why she wouldn't adopt. I mean, it's easy for me to say. I've got 3 kids of my own. All come from myself. Well, I think so. Hope so. But if we couldn't have had kiddies, I would have adopted absolutely no problem. I always wanted kiddies, and if we couldn't have had them the normal, the usual way, I'd have adopted absolutely no problem at all. But anyway, as I say, we're all different. Talking about difference and differences, Michael Palin, he's been talking today, and he said, the old Monty Python, he said, honestly, we've argued, there's been infighting for years and years and years, and really it just all revolves around money. It's all money-based. He's getting this, I'm getting that, he's getting this, I'm not getting that. It's a shame in it when money comes between folk, but it always tends to. I think a lot of it's down to who did all the writing. It's the same in these bands. There's loads of bands over the years, and what you've had just the guy that does the lyrics, and maybe the guy that does the musical stuff, the guitar line and whatever else, sharing all the royalties, and the rest of the band gets nigh on bugger all. And it's been the way it's been, and I've always thought it's a bit unfair that, publishing rights, it always goes to, normally as a rule, the singer and maybe the guitarist or whoever it may be. And I've always thought, if you're in a band, they should share it 4 or 5 ways, depending on who's in the band. I mean, I was in a band many a year ago, and I'd always want to believe that, and I wrote a couple of songs, believe it or not. I'm not saying it's any good, but I wrote a couple of the words. I couldn't write the music, I'm not that clever. Some would say I'm not that clever when they heard the words, to be honest with you, but that's just an opinion. That's only an opinion. But I've always thought if I'd have been in a band and we'd have made it, I'd have shared it. Was we a 5-piece? We was. I'd have shared it 5 ways. But then again, it never happened for us. Had it have done, maybe I wouldn't have done. Maybe I'd have been like everybody else, think of number one, because that's what they do. But I always think it's a bit awful, really, that the lesser band members, not that they are lesser band members, but those that don't do the writing, don't get the equal share. You know, I just always think it's a bit awful, really. Seems the same in Monty Python. It's caused a lot of grief along the way, which is a shame. They're all in their 80s now, or even 90s. A couple of them dead, 4 of them still going, and they're really not talking as they should be, just because of money. Sad, really, isn't it? Really sad. Anyway, that's it for today's Showbiz News. I've got nothing else to tell you. Hopefully there'll be more tomorrow, and if not, it'll be Thursday. But as it comes, I'll give it to you. Don't worry about that.